Welcome to the universe within. In this session, we will focus on the law of polarity residing in the sacral chakra. So we're beginning in a reclined, bound angle pose, soles of the feet together, and I'm using some yoga blocks under the legs to support this posture. So arriving here in this posture, feeling comfortable and grounded, and inviting in that idea of coherence, bringing the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the energetic all together in the present moment. Breathing, maybe placing hands on or around the sacral chakra and softly breathing into the hands, feeling the slow rise and fall of the lower belly, softening the back of the jaw and the shoulders, allowing the props to support your posture. Softening even more here. We're really going to have a nice balance of action and rest here, right? Two opposites that are interconnected and invite creation. So slowing down the breath a little bit more here, really inviting relaxation, feeling the earth grounding you. These lower energy centers are all about the physical body. Bring the palms together, creating some friction and prana, life force between them. Really get that warmth going between the hands. Yeah, and then bringing the hands to the sacral. So it's below the belly button, within the bowl of the pelvis. Notice your low back, which would be the back of the sacral chakra, also grounding into the earth. As you breathe into the warmth of your hands here, really contemplating the idea of polarity and how two opposites are really two parts of the same. And we oscillate from pole to find the balance. It all belongs. Removing the blocks, bringing the feet to plant. Just feeling into the hips. Bringing the knees to open and close in nice circles. Maybe you hold on to the knees. Maybe you just allow the arms to be alongside the body and let the knees intuitively flow into whatever kind of circles they want. And then move in the opposite direction with your circles. Moving with the breath at your own rhythm. Really feeling into a more restful practice in this moment. With the soles of the feet together, can you clasp the feet and draw the shape in for a lifted Supta Baddha Konasana? Lift the head and shoulders if it feels okay. And then draw everything back down. We're coming back to that bound angle reclined, and we're going to bring the knees together and then draw them open. Together and open. Moving through at your pace. Finding some heat here, being controlled. See how wide you want to open your knees. Only go to where it feels comfortable. Moving out and in. And out and in. Really drawing those adductors, finding strength. Nice. And then draw those knees in toward the chest when you feel complete. Inviting a breath here. And then we're going to lengthen up that right leg, flex the toes toward the face, and we'll come into that half happy baby shape. Maybe you extend the left leg long. That always feels too intense for me, so I'm going to keep my knee bent and plant the left foot. Maybe you find a little bit of rocking side to side. Maybe you invite some stillness. Anything goes with that left arm. I have mine in a half goddess arm. Breathing here. Feeling the opening of the hip as that knee comes down toward the earth, or maybe reaches the earth. Nice. Lengthen that leg back up and set the foot down beside the left. Then lengthen the left leg up, flex the toes toward the face, grab hold of the foot of the leg, and draw that left knee and top of leg over toward the left. You can try lengthening out that leg. If it feels too intense, you can always bend into the knee again and plant the foot or leave it lengthened. Yeah, maybe doing that half cactus or goddess arm with the right arm now. And just softening in. Feeling the back on the mat and the opening of the hip here. Extending the leg long, bending the knee, planting the foot beside the other. Now we'll rock and roll up and down on the spine a few times, grabbing behind the thighs. Yeah. And then we'll come into that tabletop shape. So finding a nice stacking of the joints. Any intuitive movement here. Fingers spread wide, press through the fingertips. And let's just take some big rock side to side with the hips, moving one direction and the other. Maybe letting the head and neck sway a little bit here as well. Playing with lifting a knee as the hips come to one side. And then moving into some cat and cows. On the inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, peel the shoulders back. Exhale, round the spine up to the sky, head gets heavy. Nice and slow. Really feeling into the mystery and the appreciation for all parts of our being. The dark and the light, the cold and the hot. So we'll move from child's pose, hips to heels, arms outstretched. On the inhale, we'll round up, draw the hips forward, shine the heart, maybe bend into the knees. And then round the back, going down to child's. Round the back, draw the shape forward into a nice high cobra. Maybe the knees are bent. So feel into the creative life force, the Shakti energy, the mystery of the womb space, where we all once resided. And then meet in child's pose when you feel ready. We'll take the hands over to the right, just for a nice side body stretch here in child's pose. Inviting a breath. And another breath. Lifting over to the left with the hands and drawing the shape down. Softening into the body and mind here. And moving back to center, high plank pose. Nice stacking of the joints here, strong body. Bend the knees, sweep the tail up to the sky, downward facing dog. So we'll kind of move through those. Once again, nice creative, sensual flow, rounding forward to high plank. Bend the knees, sweep the tail up to the sky, slowly downward facing dog. Pop the heels, round, high plank. Bend the knees, sweep the hips up to the sky. downward facing dog. Moving nice and slow, really feeling into your senses, into how it feels in your body. Inhale, lift that right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, three-legged dog. Take a nice breath here. And then we'll draw that knee in, setting that right foot down between the hands for low lunge. Nice stack of the knee and the ankle here. And I'm going to choose to stay grounded with the hands this time. Maybe a tented or spidered finger, inviting the juicy slowness of the breath to greet the posture. And then hips over that back knee, lengthening in through the right leg, flexing the toes for half split. Nice long spine here, leading with the heart if you want to gently fold forward. Breathing. Bending into that knee. We'll come into a side lunge, Skandasana. Stay lifted here. Engaging the strength of the legs, just gently opening up. Then we'll straighten both legs and come into a wide leg forward fold. Feel the spine lengthen on the inhale, exhale, forward fold. So a little or a big bend in the knees, lift the kneecaps to engage the quad, head and neck soft, maybe the hands can come in line with the feet. Inviting a breath here. Still breathing in the shape, feeling the stretch. Prasarita Parottanasana. Coming back to that half lift and then bending into the left knee to come into that side lunge on the other side, staying active, high with the hips, strong legs. Breathing. And then we'll take those left toes to the top of the mat, drop that right knee, untuck the right toes for low lunge with that left foot forward. Choosing to keep the hands grounded for this first round, maybe flat palms, maybe tented fingers, maybe even hands on blocks here. Breathing. Bringing the hips over the back knee, lengthening through the left leg, flexing the toes toward the face. Long spine. Maybe you fold gently forward, leading with the heart. All parts of you working together as one. Honoring the opposites and finding the balance within them. Coming back to that low lunge to tuck the back toes, come off the back knee. Downward facing dog. This time that left leg lifts up for that three-legged dog, bending the knee, opening the hip. Breathing here. Back to downward facing dog. So really finding that upside down V shape, lift up the heels and draw them down to the earth. Lift the heels way up and draw the heels down to the earth. Maybe bend into the knees as you lift the heels and draw the shape back. Deep bend and then lengthen. And if you want to try a little yoga twerk, you can lift and drop the heels subtly or intensely and just allow the lower chakras to shake. Then come into that high plank shape. Bend the knees, sweep the hips up to the sky, downward dog. Roll up to plank. Bend the knees, sweep the tail nice and slow, downward dog. So find that sensual nature of your being here. right? This creative life force, really being and feeling into your body and all the senses that come with being an earth body. Nice. We'll come down to table and then take the hips to the heels. Invite the arms to come alongside the body in a child's pose here. And maybe you take your hands along the low back, which is the back of the sacral chakra, and give yourself a gentle, loving massage here. Yeah, and really feel into the practice of sensitizing yourself once more. Nice. Coming up to sit on your heels. Maybe bring the hands to the heart and really tune in to the necessary oscillation of the opposites in this life to invite creation. So taking the palms together once more, finding that friction once more, maybe taking the knees wide. Left hand to the front body, right hand to the back, tuning into the prana, the life force of this chakra that houses this beautiful universal law. Opposing forces are interconnected aspects of the same reality. Nice. So we're going to do a little bit of a belly massage. So coming over to the right, lifting up, sweeping across the top, sweeping down on the left, and sweeping across on the bottom. Yeah, just really tuning in, sensitizing the body, feeling this belly, feeling this energy center, grounding into the physical body. Grounding into the DNA and all the protons and electrons and neutrons, all the positive and negative energy that work together to create you in every moment. So we'll come back to child's pose, lifting into that high cobra with the bent knees, flowing through child's pose, and then lift it up. Maybe get a little faster or stay slow. And just play with the oscillation between these two postures. Coming into downward facing dog, that left leg rises. Open the hip, bend the knee. We'll sweep the shape forward. We'll set that left foot between the hands. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe. So you can stay grounded with the hands here once more, or you can lift up so the hands are hovering. We'll play a little bit more with the oscillation between the two poles, in this case, two shapes of low lunge and half split. Maybe the arms can hover here and really work with the balance of this shape. We're going to shine the palms forward as we come into low lunge, and we're going to sweep the palms back as we come into that half split. Sweep the palms forward, low lunge, shine the palms back, half split. Then we're going to tuck the back toes and come back into that skandasana shape or side lunge. And you can stay up higher or you can come down a little lower, flexing the toes of that long leg. See what feels good. Yeah. And then we'll move back into the wide leg forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Forward fold here. Maybe the hands are down on the mat or on blocks. Maybe grab the outer blades of the feet and bend into the elbows as you draw the chest forward. Maybe the head reaches to or toward the earth. Finding the balance in all parts of the feet here. the strength in the legs, a little micro bend in the knees or a big bend in the knees. Breathing. Coming into a long spine, inhale. And then we're going to hop the heels together. We're up on the balls of the feet. The knees are wide. So it's a sacral squat. See if you can just balance here. A little toe stand with the knees wide. Just playing with balance. Just notice, maybe the hands stay down. Where can you soften in? Now we're going to bring the hands in front of the body, tented fingers. We're going to keep ourselves up on the tippy toes. Inhale, rise. Exhale, squat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, squat. Playing with the oscillation between these two shapes. They both belong. They're both part of the whole. They're both different aspects of the same reality. We need to flow with this natural oscillation between two seemingly opposite shapes. So hopping back to that wide leg to move into that side lunge. See if you want to stay high, more active, or sink lower, more of a deep stretch. Nice. Sending a breath here. And then we'll take that low lunge now with the right foot forward. Untuck the back toes. You can stay down with the hands or you can reach the body up, shining the palms forward. We'll practice this oscillation here from the low lunge shape all the way to the half split shape. So inhale, exhale, flip the palms, shine them behind for that half split. Inhale, low lunge, palms shine forward. Exhale, half split. Inhale, low lunge. Beautiful, nice, controlled movements. Tuck the back toes, come off the back knee with the hands framing. We're going to lift that right leg up to the sky now for three-legged dog. Open the hip, bend the knee if you like. Yeah, big hip opening practice. Coming back to downward facing dog. Rolling up to high plank to down dog. Rolling up to high plank to downward facing dog. Just moving with a few of these. Really being in your body, feeling your senses, resensitizing the body. Coming back into downward dog, maybe play with the gentle lifting and dropping of the heels to encourage some shaking in the glutes, in the thighs. Nice. We'll bend the knees, bring them down to the earth. Take the knees wide, untuck the toes, child's pose. So with the knees nice and wide here, see if your head can drift down to the earth. Maybe you put a block under your head so you can roll that third eye center, find some pressure there. And just gently oscillate slowly side to side with the hips. So if this doesn't feel good to sit hips to heels with the knees really wide, then I invite you to come into an easy seat. We're going to move into some spiraling of the spine. Starting out with a counterclockwise direction, bringing the chest forward as you come forward, rounding as you roll back. Sweep forward on your inhale, nice, slow, sensual rounding on the way back. Unwinding, unraveling from all of those distortions. And then moving into that clockwise direction, envisioning a beautiful orange orb of light in your sacral, becoming more radiant and accepting and luminous. So the next place to meet is with that right leg long, left heel to center line. Flex those right toes toward the face, nice long spine, and we're going to reach that left arm up and over to the right or straight up in the sky. Maybe that right hand reaches toward the foot. And maybe you add some neck movement, looking down at the leg and up at the sky, or just find stillness. Really, any intuitive movement is welcome. Take the left hand beside the hip, reach the hips up to the sky for a little gentle back bend. Maybe a couple circles in the sky with the arm. Nice. Exhale, lower the hips back down to the mat. And we'll take the soles of the feet together now for a seated bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. Nice and tall here, great place to stay, or hinging at the hips, fold forward. Half lift, inhale, long spine, exhale, gently fold forward. Breathing into the low back here, find some softening in the glutes and the knees. Nice. Feel the sensation of your breath, temperature on your skin. Extend out that left leg, shine the sole of the foot as you flex the foot. And now we're reaching that right arm up to the sky or up and over. Left arm reaches toward the toes, peeling that top shoulder back. Nice side body stretch as you move the gaze maybe up and down. Right hand beside hip, lift the hips, opening up for a little back bend here. It's kind of like wild thing with a knee down, maybe taking some circles in the sky with the arm. Just listen to your body. And on an exhale, draw the hips back down to the earth. This time we'll come into a seated wide leg shape. So feel how wide you want your feet to be and just find a nice comfortable place that's giving a little bit of stretch. Flex the toes toward the face. Really feel yourself sitting up on your sit bones. You might just lean forward ever so slightly like you're hinging at the hips. This might be plenty for the stretch. You might prefer just sitting up tall. You might just oscillate gently between gently leaning forward and then coming up tall. You might find a little bit more of an opening as you breathe into the space, finding room to come down onto the forearms. Maybe you even can invite your whole torso down to the earth. Just notice what feels accessible to you and breathe into the shape. Nice. Maybe grab hold of the outside of the feet. Upavishta Konasana. back up tall, coming into another bound angle pose. If you've had enough, all good. Let's open up the feet like a book, giving yourself a nice foot massage, just gently opening them up. And this is going to encourage the knees to soften down to the earth a little more, inviting your seat to relax. Come into a nice long spine, maybe hinging forward, long spine, maybe rounding forward. Yeah. And then come back up. Draw the knees together with the help of the hands. And we'll come into a reclined shape. Heels come a little closer to the glutes, and we'll lift the hips up for bridge pose. Exhale, lower the hips down. Really feel the low back press into the earth. Inhale, slowly peel the shape up. Exhale, slowly peel the spine back down to the earth. Really grounding in through the low back. Inhale, press through the feet, the hands, the shoulder shelf, lift the hips. Exhale, slowly lowering down. You're welcome to move through these rolling bridges some more, or lift the hips, draw the shoulder blades together, holding on to heels or interlacing the fingers, pressing through the forearms, lifting the shape a little higher. Keeping the gaze up to the sky, and breathing here. And when you feel ready, moving the shoulder blades out of the way, slowly lowering the hips down to the earth. We'll take the feet up to the sky, pointing and flexing the toes here. Maybe lifting the hands to the sky, rotating the wrists in each direction. And while you're here in this sleeping tiger shape with movement or stillness, feel the low back ground into the earth. Feel the surrender here. Feel your senses. What do you taste and hear and smell and feel and see? What about those extra senses? Inviting the softening and the curiosity of exploring the opposites within and finding where they are two sides of the whole reality that we experience. We're going to come into that full happy baby shape. We practiced the half happy baby earlier. Shining the soles of the feet, drawing the knees to the outside of the torso, grabbing the big toes with the peace fingers around the big toes, or grab hold of the foot. So the invitation here is to find stillness in your blissful baby instead of rocking around. Send some slow, deep breaths into this big hip opener. And just let whatever emotions come through to flow. Then we'll draw the soles of the feet together, coming into that lifted Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe lifting head and shoulders off. Gently bringing the shape back down. If you would like to bring the blocks around you again, we're going to revisit that supported reclined bound angle, so you can take the blocks to a higher height or a lower height. Or you don't have to have blocks at all if you feel comfortable without them. I love a block in this shape under each knee. And then get comfortable. Bring that left hand to the low belly and the right hand on top. Softening the low back into the earth, feeling the connection of the back of the sacral chakra to the earth, feeling the warmth and protection and blessings of the prana flowing through your palms on the front. Softening in. So we think of polarity, we think of the poles, right? We think of the two sides, love and hate, physical, energetic, cold, hot. It's kind of like focusing on the black and the white, and then recognizing all of the shades of gray that are in between them. All of the beautiful creations between the polar opposites. And so the space between is also powerful to contemplate. So with the hands where they are in this contemplative space, I invite you to begin to breathe into the low belly on the inhale. Pause, holding the breath. Soften and fully exhale. And then hold the breath out. Inhale, filling the low belly. Pausing at the top. Exhale, slowly releasing the air. And holding the breath out. Play in those in-between spaces. There's energy there. There's subtle oscillation there. Playing on each pole and the spaces between, to notice that they really all belong together. And we can transcend good versus bad, or right versus wrong, and see that the space between holds infinite possibility for creation to be woven with pure love. Gently drawing the knees together. We'll lift the hips up and take one block to the back of the pelvis. Yeah, maybe keeping the knees bent, maybe extending one leg at a time. So with that block right under the sacrum, maybe you extend both legs long. And this is a beautiful stretch for the hips if it feels available in your body. Once again, you can keep both knees bent, or you can extend one leg out at a time, giving yourself about a minute for each leg. With the law of polarity, really inviting those two contrasting poles to move toward balance, right? Acknowledging their interdependence. It feels different than duality, which stays in the either or space. It stays in the me versus you space, the separation. And so when we can really soften into the contemplation of polarity, we can begin to move away from separation and division into oneness. So slowly, if you have that block under the sacrum, begin to move it out of the way. And draw the knees into the chest, giving yourself a nice hug. Moving into a fully reclined shape. Just a brief shavasana, the energetic death of the practice. And of course, you can meditate for much longer after practice. But tuning into the senses, the natural breath, grounding the body, all parts of you working together as one in the present moment. And then gently rolling over to the right side, a gesture of rebirth, gathering up all of the gems you found in this practice of embodying the universe. And when you feel ready, rising up to an easy seat. Reaching the arms up overhead. Create a beautiful mudra. This is that yoni mudra. And take it to the sacral chakra. So thumbs together, fingers together, creating a yonic shape. Noticing if you can settle in a little bit more here. It's been an honor to practice with you. Namaste.